Welcome back. This is the Rugby Social, and it may be a fallow week in the Six Nations, but I am still absolutely buzzing. And in this video, I want to explore and ask the question, are we seeing history in the making in this year's Six Nations competition? Are we going to see the first back-to-back Grand Slam champions of the Six Nations era and the first back-to-back Grand Slam champions since France in 97, 98, back when it was the Five Nations? So let's explore that. And first of all, are we seeing history in the making? I absolutely, fundamentally believe we are. I'm super excited to watch Ireland. They are a cut above everybody else. And I'm going to give you 4 reasons now why I think we're seeing history in the making and why Ireland are going to go on to win back-to-back Grand Slam championships. First reason is the matches they've got left. Now, Ireland have already got through their biggest hurdle, and I predicted France would beat Ireland down there in Marseille. How wrong I was! Ireland came away with a record-breaking win, and I was eating humble pie at that point, and rightfully got abused in the comments for it. But yeah, so Ireland have had their most difficult match by far. Teams they've got left to go, they have got Wales at home, England away, Scotland at home. And a young, inexperienced Welsh side, I just cannot see going to the Aviva and doing anything. They're not going to be beating this Irish side there. You could then say comes their next biggest challenge, which is coming to Twickenham in the 4th game, playing England. But just with Ireland's speed of attack, England's kind of careless nature of how often they don't get points when they get it into the 22, I just cannot see the current English side outscoring the Irish side. So I don't see that as a challenge. And then maybe another potential challenge they've got is Scotland coming to the Aviva. But again, Scotland have blown a little bit hot and cold in this tournament. Great first half against Wales. Pretty decent half against France as well. Probably should have won that French match. But again, I think they're a little bit of a liability when it comes to penalties. And I think they'll just be put to bed by this Irish team. So in terms of reason number 1, I just don't think there's any fixture out there that will put any fear into the Irish team's hearts at all. So that is my number 1 reason. But hey, why don't you let me know if you agree with that analysis? Do you think Ireland are going to go through and win every game for the remainder of this tournament? Let me know in the comments whether you think I'm wrong or right there. Next reason number 2, Ireland have got genuine world-class players in their team. And by my reckoning, right now, they've got 5 world-class players. And when I say world-class players, I mean players that if a World 15 got selected to play another planet, these players would be in the side. First one, Dan Sheehan at hooker. What a player he is. He's just so athletic, does all of the set-piece stuff beautifully as well, bounds around the park like a back row. Yeah, immaculate player. Then we've got the ever-dependable Tyburn in the second row. Never does anything wrong, constantly involved in the game. Plays like a back row, all around the park, but just so steady and strong as well. Then we get perhaps into a little bit of a controversial one. But whilst we have got DuPont out there playing in the sevens, Aaron Smith retired, I think Gibson Park would be the number 1 choice for scrum half in the world at the moment. Yeah, he really gets things ticking over. His ruck speed is incredible, gets involved everywhere, and pretty tough in defence as well. So there's number 3. Number 4, Bundy Aki. What a centre he is. Explosive with the ball carry, hard hitting, really makes a difference, really makes things come together and creates space for other players to play. And then the 5th player, Hugo Keenan. What a fullback he is. Maybe some competition there with Ramos, but for me, Hugo Keenan, it just fits into the Irish line so beautifully. He pops up, he always makes yards. He's great with the high ball, he's great kicking, and defensively, he's put in some really big hits as well. So I think Ireland have got 5 absolute world-class players there, and that puts them streets ahead of the rest of the teams in the Six Nations. Not only are they the best side, but I also think they're the best coach side. So the third reason for me is the quality of the coaches and the coaching for Ireland. You've got Andy Farrell, who's been kicking about in the Irish setup since 2016. I think he's a master of keeping players' feet on the ground whilst just so analytical, just works everything out, and supported so well by Simon Easterby as the defence coach. And yeah, he's been around even longer. He's been in the Irish setup since 2014, which is amazing. So that pairing really know each other well. And you can see that in the Irish performances. And then they are ably supported by the likes of Mike Catt, who again has been around since 2018. And then the sort of two coaches that have come through a little bit more lately, Mr. Munster, Paul O'Connell. What a player he was, and he's sort of really brought that quality and that understanding through into his coaching since 2020 into that Irish setup. And then you've also got John Fogarty as the scrum coach. So as a unit, as a coaches, how they get the players ticking and working, just phenomenal. So for third reason is I think they're the best coach side. And if you're getting any sort of value or enjoyment for this video, please consider giving it a like or a subscribe. I'm hoping to reach as many rugby fans as possible. I love talking about rugby. I hope you do too. But yeah, let me now give you the fourth reason. And the fourth reason for me is because it looks to me, based on the stats from the Six Nations so far this season, Ireland are basically just about twice as good as any other team. I mean, essentially, they've scored almost double the amount of points as any other team. They've got 74 points. I think next closest is England on 43. Excuse me. Also, they've scored double the amount of tries. So they've got 11 tries. Next best is Wales with 6. And actually, quite impressive for Wales with such a young team to have scored that many tries so far. And also, just their ability to score so many points off a 22 entry. So whilst they've had 22, ironically, 22 entries into a 22 so far in the tournament, England have had 21. And, Ireland are almost twice as many points. They've also had the most carries. They've also made the most meters and also made the most total passes. And again, just to sort of give an idea of just how good Ireland are from an attacking point of view, they've had more breaks, so almost twice as many breaks as any other team as well, clean breaks. They've had 18, Wales have had 10. And they've also, from a defensive point of view, although I think Ireland look fantastic in defence, they've had to make the least amount of tackles. They're down to, I think it's around about just over 200 tackles, 206, something like that, which again is just a noticeably much less than any other team. And again, you want to talk about speed of attack. They are by far the quickest team when it comes to ruck speed. So again, stats back that up. So 4 reasons why I think we're seeing history in the making, why I think we're going to see back-to-back Grand Slams from Ireland, deservedly so, and I would love to see it. I think just being able to do that off the back of the disappointments of the World Cup from an Irish point of view, that very, very fine point score defeat by South Africa, see them come bouncing back to win this back-to-back Grand Slams would be amazing. And what a different response Ireland have had to France. Obviously France had similar heartbreak at the World Cup. I think they really thought that was their time to win the tournament. They didn't, and they've kind of dealt with that disappointment in a completely different way. So let me know what you think. I think we're on to see some real beautiful history in the making. In fact, Ireland are going so well, I think they could be on course for breaking some records that have been sticking around for quite a little while now. First one would be the biggest points difference in the tournament. That record currently sits with England, who had a 149-point difference back in 2001. Now, to achieve that and to kind of match that record, the average number of points difference they would need per round is 29.8. Currently, they have 28.5. Now, you could argue they've had their most difficult game and their easiest game, but I think they've got 2 home games to go, and that record is on. I think I could see them doing that. The second one, which I think it would be even more impressive if Ireland were able to do it, is breaking the fewest points conceded in a Six Nations tournament. Currently, that record dates back to 2003 with England, who conceded 46 points. Obviously, that was a team that went on to win the World Cup. That was an average of 9.2 points per game. Currently, Ireland are sitting at 8.5 points per game conceded. So I can definitely see Ireland's defence just holding up, holding people out, and that record going too. Whatever happens, I have to say, as a rugby fan, I just love the way Ireland are playing. Gutted I predicted it wrong against France and kicking myself, but I can see them doing this, and hats off if they do, or actually hats off when they do. So Let me know what you think. Do you think Ireland are going to go back to back? In fact, even more importantly, if they go back to back with Grand Slams, do you think that could then lead them into beating South Africa in both tests come July of this year? Now, that is going to be a super exciting set of matches if Ireland go back to back with the Grand Slams, which I think they will do. So, yeah, let me know what you think. Please do give us a like, maybe add us as a subscribe. We're here, love talking about rugby. Hope you do too. Thanks for watching and see you on the next one.